Willibald Pirckheimer was a German Renaissance lawyer, author and Renaissance humanist, a wealthy and prominent figure in Nuremberg in the 16th century, and a member of the governing city council for 2 periods. He was the closest friend of the artist Albrecht Dürer, who made a number of portraits of him, and a close friend of the great humanist and theologian Erasmus.Born in Eichstätt, Bavaria, the son of a lawyer, Dr. Johannes Pirckheimer. He was educated in Italy, studying law at Padua and Pavia for 7 years. His wife was called Cresencia, and they had at least a daughter, Felicitas. His elder sister Carita was abbess of St. Clare's Franciscan convent in Nuremberg and was also a gifted classical scholar. Dürer's Life of the Virgin woodcut series was dedicated to her. He probably met Dürer in 1495. He was a member of a group of Nuremberg humanists including Konrad Celtus, Sebald Schreyer, and Hartmann Schedel. He also was consulted by the Holy Roman Emperor Maximilian I on literary matters. He translated many classical texts into German, and was a believer in translating by the sense rather than over literally. A great question of the day. Among other works, he edited and had published an edition of Ptolemy's Geographia in 1525. In 1499, Pirckheimer was chosen by the city council to command the contingent of troops in the imperial army during the Swabian War against the Swiss. On his return he was presented with a gold cup by the city. This may be referred to in Dürer's engraving Nemesis of about 1502. As Dürer had not received a classical education, it is usually assumed that much of the display of classical and humanist learning in his works, especially his prints, reflected his discussions with Pirckheimer. A notable example is Melancholia. Pirckheimer lent Dürer the money for his second trip to Italy in 1506-7, and 10 letters to him from Dürer in Italy demonstrate the closeness of the friendship, with much teasing. After the death in 1560 of the last of Dürer's immediate family, Pirckheimer's grandson Willibald Imhoff bought the remaining Dürer collections and papers. Most of Pirckheimer's own library, famous in its day, was sold by another Imhoff descendant to the Earl of Arundel in 1636. Much of this passed via the collection of Sir Hans Sloane to the British Library. He died in Nuremberg, aged 60. Like Dürer, he is buried in the cemetery of the Johannes in Nuremberg.